piece of jewelry gets a North Carolina student expelled from school. Now the case goes from the principal's office to a courtroom. And we don't hear about it often enough, but it's good news. More jobs coming to our area, and we've got more on the company that's bringing them here. Good morning, I'm Brad Jones.
And I'm Cindy Farmer. Thanks so much for starting your morning with us. If you need some help waking up, something simple you can do. Open up the door. It's chilly outside. The cool air will open your eyes quickly, right, Tom?
Oh, it will that. I tell you what, it's not quite so nippy out there this morning as what we saw yesterday. 54 degrees currently being reported from PTI. Also got the 50s in High Point at 52. Now, Winston-Salem, Burlington, most of the others, we're in the 40s and the 50s this morning. So you're going to notice that it's actually not quite so cold today as what we saw yesterday. As a matter of fact, yesterday we got up to 70. Today we're looking at about 10 degrees warmer than that. Here's the composite satellite and radar. You can see not much activity going on out there. We're going to have some sunny skies, but we've still got that cold front. Remember, I was talking yesterday about how the biggest change is going to be, that's going to be squeezing things. That's going to be making the winds pick up again. They've been pretty strong yesterday. Today we're expecting them to be gusting up to about 25 miles per hour once again. But again, that's going to be high pressure that's going to be in charge of our weather for the next several days on through the weekend. So we're going to be seeing clear skies and warm temperatures throughout that period. Here's the way it all breaks down. 80 today, the upper 70s tomorrow, then back to the 80s for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Low temperatures still going to be cool though, even though we are going to start sneaking on up into the 50s for overnight low temperatures.
Governor Bev Perdue says the state will likely be facing a $3 or $4 billion budget shortfall. That's why she's planning to, quote, redefine how government operates. Now, no one knows what the governor has in mind, though. Some suspect that she may just be making a political play with the talk of consolidating and possibly eliminating certain expenditures altogether. Others are worried that the bulk of the cuts will fall heavily on North Carolina's 55,000 state workers.
We have been cut to the bone and asked to do more with less.
Well, some conservatives are applauding the idea of potential major cuts in government, while others doubt change is possible. Perdue plans to reveal her strategy sometime in early November.
The ACLU is getting involved after a Johnston County High School student was kicked out of school because of a nose ring. Clayton High School officials say Ariana Iancono's nose piercing violates the dress code. Now she's missed 19 days of class. The ACLU has filed a lawsuit against Johnston County Schools, saying the policy caused her to deny her religion. She's a member of the Church of Body Modification. The religious group believes in ancient and modern body modifications like piercings, hooking, and tattoos. Federal judge will hold a hearing on the lawsuit tomorrow.
The probe into John Edwards and how his campaign spent money gets revived. The investigation hasn't had any public activity for nearly a year now, but federal prosecutors are issuing a new set of subpoenas. One of Edwards' former aides testified that Edwards gave his former mistress, Rielle Hunter, a large sum of money to keep quiet about their affair.
Now to a job alert out of Guilford County, where at least one business isn't consolidating or laying off employees.
Fox 8's Kristen Nelson went to Machine Specialties in Whitsett to find out more about job openings in the future.
Listen to that constant humming. Those are the machines, the lifeblood of this plant.
We used to make the parts that you could hold in your hand, and now we decided to go after large parts.
Machine Specialties Inc. in Whitsett produces landing gear parts for planes.
F-16 fighter plane, the whole undercarriage of that, we make that undercarriage.
Along with military, medical, commercial, and energy equipment.
Can't take our parts and go to China with them because they are flight critical parts. So we felt like that we've kind of set aside for the recession, not participate in recession.
The company hired 30 new people over the last year, several from out of state.
Michigan, Connecticut, New Hampshire, yeah, all over.
Last November, they moved into this new, more spacious facility. Now, with these brand new machines, they need to add 46 workers to the team. And you don't necessarily need a degree, just as long as you've got the skills and experience to do the job.
No one in the plant made less than $35,000 last year. So we're talking about higher skilled guys.
Management has a year to fill these positions. They're looking for people coming right out of technical school and machine shop. If you'd like to apply, go to the website, but we've posted a link on our website, myfox8.com.
Greensboro woman has been arrested for animal abuse. Police charged Shakiva Green with 2 counts of felony cruelty to animals. Officers say she abandoned 2 pit bull puppies in a small kennel left in her apartment. One of the puppies had to be euthanized.
The man accused of killing a police chief's daughter stood before a judge in Charlotte for the first time yesterday. Until then, police had not said whether they would charge him with murder or not. Jim Bradley is following the case, which is very high profile.
After a 12-hour ride from New York State back to Charlotte, Michael Harvey emerged cuffed and bowed and silent. In a brief court appearance, said only "yes, sir" when a judge asked him if he understood he's charged with murder. It's quite a change from the talkative Harvey we found last month in Niagara Falls, where he'd fled after police say he left the body of Valerie Hamilton in a storage unit along Monroe Road.
She overdosed in her sleep.
This was not a murder.
This is not a murder.
Harvey's insistence that Hamilton, the daughter of Concord's police chief, died of a drug overdose seemed to be supported by preliminary autopsy results, which found no obvious signs of trauma on Hamilton, and by police who found evidence of drug use in this house where witnesses claimed they told Harvey Hamilton needed medical help. But now, after initially suggesting murder charges might be modified, Police Chief Rodney Monroe says he and prosecutors are not backing off their belief that Valerie Hamilton was killed by Michael Harvey.
He was presented with the charges, and murder is still one of those charges, and there's nothing that we see has changed that.
Neither police nor prosecutors are saying how the murder charge applies, but veteran Charlotte attorney James Wyatt says drugs could be considered a deadly weapon.
It is possible the state could try to fit this case into the felony murder rule, arguing that if he injected her with drugs, that's a deadly weapon.
Well, he's free, but that might not be the case for long.
New DNA evidence could mean Joseph Abbott will have to turn right back around and finish his prison sentence. Abbott was let out of jail last year after serving 14 years in prison for raping 2 Winston-Salem girls. But Winston-Salem police say they have found Abbott's DNA on one of the victim's bed sheets. Chief Cunningham says Forsyth County District Attorney Jim O'Neill is reviewing the case. He will decide on the appropriate legal action. A major setback for the feds in the first civilian trial of a Gitmo detainee. The government's most important witness cannot testify against the alleged U.S. Embassy bomber. A judge says investigators questioned the person in a jail overseas, and they use, quote, torture as an interrogation technique. The case has been delayed until next week. The bomber is accused of playing a key role in the attacks of 2 U.S. embassies in East Africa in 1998.
Soldier was stationed at Fort Bragg is awarded the nation's highest honor. President Obama presented the Medal of Honor to the family of Staff Sergeant Robert Miller at a ceremony yesterday. Miller sacrificed his life fighting to save nearly 24 fellow soldiers in Afghanistan 2 years ago. Well, the president presented the Medal of Honor to Miller's parents, praising their son as an example of true bravery.
It has been said that courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. For Rob Miller, the testing point came nearly 3 years ago, deep in a snowy Afghan valley. But the courage he displayed that day reflects every virtue that defined his life.
Miller was a Green Beret. Fellow soldiers say the 24-year-old continued to fight even after he was shot twice in the chest. Is Hillary Clinton looking for a new job? More on the rumors and what others think about her potentially getting a different job in the administration.
Oh, and some pretty bad weather hits Arizona. Take a look at the damage tornadoes left behind.
And that's not usually an area where you see a lot of tornadoes, so that raised some concern right there. Traffic-wise, looking pretty good out there. No accidents, no unusual problem areas to report at this time. I'll let you know if that changes. Traffic reports as the Fox 8 Morning News continues.